The Apollo spacecraft will consist of 3 modules. The command module will carry the 3-man crew together with guidance, communications, and life support systems. The service module will contain propulsion systems for mid-course maneuvers, as well as for entering and escaping the lunar orbit. The Lunar Excursion Module will carry 2 crew members to the surface of the Moon, along with scientific instruments, communications, and guidance systems. It also will have a propulsion capability for a lunar landing and for return to the orbiting command and service modules. The Apollo spacecraft and its launch escape system total 75 feet in length. The 3-stage advanced Saturn booster adds another 280 feet in length. In Project Apollo, Saturn's first stage will provide 7.5 million pounds of thrust from 5 F-1 engines for liftoff and initial powered flight. The second stage will develop 1 million pounds of thrust from 5 J-2 engines to boost the spacecraft almost into Earth orbit. Immediately after ignition of the second stage, the launch escape system will be jettisoned. A single J-2 engine in the S-4B stage will provide 200,000 pounds of thrust. It will place the spacecraft in an Earth parking orbit. Then its engine will be shut down. At the proper predetermined time and position in the Earth orbit, the S-4B will be reignited for propelling the spacecraft into a translunar trajectory. A few minutes later, staging will occur. The S-4B will be separated, fairings will be jettisoned, and the Lunar Excursion Module will be repositioned to a nose-to-nose attitude with a command module. A number of mid-course maneuvers may be required to place the spacecraft into position for obtaining the desired orbit around the Moon. Preparatory to acquiring its lunar orbit, the spacecraft will be reoriented for deceleration. The service module propulsion system will slow the spacecraft to the proper velocity for obtaining a precise circular orbit approximately 100 nautical miles above the lunar surface. While the spacecraft is coasting in its lunar orbit, 2 members of the crew will transfer to the Lunar Excursion Module through the hatch at the connection point between the 2 vehicles. After preparations are completed, the Lunar Excursion Module will separate from the command and service modules, which will remain in lunar orbit. The Lunar Excursion Module will be properly oriented, and its propulsion system will transfer the vehicle into an elliptical orbit suitable for approaching the lunar surface. The vehicle will be reoriented for landing. Then, through a carefully blended combination of manual control and automatic systems operation, the vehicle will be lowered toward the lunar surface. It will be able to hover and, if necessary, move laterally so that the crew can select the touchdown point. Before taking any other action, the 2 lunar explorers will prepare for relaunching. In addition to their own inspection and checking, they will be instructed and guided in this activity by the 3rd member in the mothership and by information transmitted from Earth. Photographs and samples of the lunar surface will be obtained. Apparatus for continued operation and transmission of scientific data back to Earth probably will be left on the Moon. The crew will fire the lunar launching engine at a precisely determined instant to enter a transfer ellipse calculated to rendezvous with the mothership after traveling part of the way around the Moon. After proper orientation, the Lunar Excursion Module will complete the docking maneuver. The 2 lunar explorers will transfer back into the command module. Their Lunar Excursion Module probably will be left in lunar orbit to save weight on the return trip. After the command and service modules are thoroughly checked out and all calculations are confirmed, the Apollo spacecraft will be fired into its trajectory for return to Earth. Following mid-course corrections and just before entering the Earth's atmosphere, the service module will be jettisoned and the command module will be oriented for re-entry.
It's 3 hours and 32 minutes until man begins the greatest adventure in his history. If all goes well, Apollo 11 astronauts Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins are to lift off from pad 39A out there on the voyage man always has dreamed about. So it is now, before they go, as their gleaming vehicle sits poised and peaceful out there, that there is time, if only briefly in this busy morning, to think of those three men and the burdens and the hopes that they carry on behalf of all mankind. And boring through the vastness, the blackness, the cold of space, they'll carry the pledge made 8 years ago by President Kennedy to put a man on the moon and bring him back safely in this decade.
Each segment of the mission, every individual piece has to be completed perfectly in order for the next step to be possible. And of course, the nation itself is backing us, so we just sincerely hope that we measure up to that.
The whole Apollo program was designed to get two Americans to the lunar surface and back again to Earth safely. The enormity of this event is something that only history will be able to judge.
Apollo 11 has very simply been given the mission of carrying men to the moon, landing them there, and bringing them safely back.
For in addition to the mission the three astronauts will perform and the experiments they'll undertake, these men will carry with them many other things that are not nearly so easy to describe. During the planned Apollo 11 journey, we'll be concerned with such things as mid-course corrections and docking. The astronauts, of course, will be concerned with very much more. The flight of Apollo 11 is to be the culmination of a national effort and the most difficult, most dangerous mission ever attempted since this country and the Russians started sending men into space. The dawn of this day heralded the dawning of a new age. It's a time of exhilaration, reflection, hope, fulfillment, as a centuries-old dream starts toward reality.
This is Apollo Saturn Launch Control, T-minus 3 hours, 4 minutes, 32 seconds, and counting. Right on time as far as the astronaut countdown is concerned. The prime crew now departing from their crew quarters here at the Kennedy Space Center. Astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and then finally Mike Collins, plus their suit technicians and Director of Flight Crew Operations Deke Slayton now boarding the transfer van for the trip to the launch pad. The trip in the transfer van should take some 15 minutes or so to reach the pad, at which time the astronauts will board the first of two elevators for the trip to the 320-foot level at the launch pad, where they will then proceed to ingress the spacecraft. We logged the departure from the building at about 6:27 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The transfer van now departing from the Manned Spacecraft Operations Building at the Kennedy Space Center on the start of its 8-mile trip to Launch Pad A here at Complex 39, where the Saturn V launch vehicle, now fully loaded with propellants, going through preliminary checkouts. This is launch control.
Past 10,000 odd cars guesstimated parked around the Gate 1 area at 4 a.m. when we got here. Cars in every state. Little kids staring wide-eyed at the Saturn V blowing into huge neon spotlights 15 miles away. And we saw teenagers with telescopes. It was the very same road we came over 8 long years ago, 21 manned space flights ago, when we came out at just about the same hour to cover Alan Shepard's 15. understand. We'll get the camera. Okay, Gunner, you can hit the switch on the camera.
This is Apollo Saturn Launch Control. We've just passed the 2-hour, 21-minute mark in our countdown, and we are proceeding at this time. At the 320-foot level, all 3 astronauts now aboard the spacecraft. 120 feet down, the work continues on a leaky valve at the 200-foot level. The technician still hard at work tightening bolts around that valve at this time. T-minus 61 minutes on the Apollo 11 countdown, and all elements are go at this time. Mark. Still proceeding very satisfactorily at this time. T-minus 30 minutes, 52 seconds and counting. Aiming toward our planned liftoff time, 32 minutes past the hour. The start of our launch window on some final checks of the destruct system of the 3 stages in the Saturn V launch vehicle. In the event during powered flight, the safety officer could take action to destroy the vehicle. This obviously we will go after the astronauts were separated by their escape tower from the faulty vehicle. Just got by an important test with the launch vehicle, checking out the various batteries and the 3 stages and instrument unit of the Saturn V. We remain on external power for most of the count to preserve those batteries which must be used during the powered flight. We've just taken a look at them by going internal and then switching back to external again. Batteries all look good. The next time we go internal will be at the 50-second mark with those batteries. They will remain, of course, on internal power during the flight. We passed the 6-minute mark in our countdown for Apollo 11. Now 5 minutes, 52 seconds and counting.
Booster flight. CPSS, verify go for launch. CPSS, verify go for launch. CPSC, verify go for launch. Booster flight. Verify go for launch. SRO, verify go for launch. SRO, verify go for launch. LM, verify go for launch. LM, go for launch.
Yep, camera. Roger, flight channel 26.
CB2,
We have some 7.6 million pounds of thrust pushing the vehicle upward, a vehicle that weighs close to 6.5 million pounds. This is Apollo Saturn Launch Control, T-minus 1 minute, 35 seconds on the Apollo mission, the flight to land the first men on the moon.
Apollo 11, this is the launch operations manager. The launch team wishes you good luck and Godspeed.
Going off, sure. It's been a nice smooth countdown, Chip.
Thank you, babe. LMP, VHS.
T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We passed T-minus 60. 55 seconds and counting. Neil Armstrong just reported back. It's been a real smooth countdown. We passed the 50-second mark. Power transfer is complete. We're on internal power with the launch vehicle at this time. 40 seconds away from the Apollo 11 liftoff. All the second stage tanks now pressurized. 35 seconds and counting. We are still go with Apollo 11. 30 seconds and counting. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds. 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6,